Well, I made it. I'm still alive after the trip to Dublin. I'm still here, fresh as a daisy on this Tuesday morning. Pity the weather's a bit shit though. But hey, listen, back for another one. Here we go. Well. Welcome back once again, guys, to the Moore Army podcast for another week. Tuesday morning has arrived. I'm still alive. Don't worry, for my trip to Dublin, if you've seen the vlogs on the YouTube channel. Yes, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. Even though we had a good time away. But we'll talk about that shortly. But anyway, yes, guys, hope you're all doing well out there. Welcome back to another week here on the Moore Army podcast. Yes, it's a bit of a crap day where I'm sitting here right now. I'm actually recording the podcast today here in my kitchen, sitting with my laptop in front of me. Looking out the window here at the moment, and it's raining, and it looks absolutely crap outside. But here, listen, I'm back for another episode. I'm here for you guys once again. But yes, before we go any further in the podcast, guys, and talk about what I've been up to over the last couple of days, and talk about what's been going on in the world, let you know how I get in touch with the podcast. As always, if you're new to this podcast or this program for the first time, hello. Welcome to the Moore Army podcast, unleashed. Permanently unleashed now, by the way. If you're new to the program for the first time, then this is how you can get in touch with us. If you're a regular listener, hello again. You want to contact the program or the podcast, you can contact us by email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. The old trustly social media, which is Facebook, which is the Facebook page for the YouTube channel, which is Moore Army YouTube channel. Please drop a like on that page and give it a wee follow. I would appreciate it. And also on the old Instagram, which you can follow me on there or contact me on there, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. What do I got to talk about today? Well, got a few things to talk about today, actually, for a change. I want to talk about my trip away to Dublin there with Tony. Once I got back yesterday. Also, yesterday was Lewis's birthday. Lewis turned 14 yesterday. And I want to talk about some sad news today coming out of America. Also some happy news for the people of Scotland. And also a little bit of a concerning situation for people here in Northern Ireland. Interesting. Anyway, yes, how you all doing? What a weekend I've had. I am exhausted. Well, I was exhausted. I got a good night's sleep last night, which was great because I took myself to bed early last night because I was fucking tired. I really was tired last night. Before I do go, but continue on actually, I want to say thank you to everybody who contacted me over the weekend. A lot of you were contacting me just saying, you were enjoying the videos from Dublin, you were looking forward to seeing more videos, and just some of you were actually taking the piss. I put a video up, I'll tell you about it in a minute, about Tony and a coffee machine. What an absolute nightmare. And then obviously I had the usual few wee trolls coming in, doing their usual, spouting their mouth off as usual, and I just literally ignored it because it's funny. Hope you're still listening. Hi. Anyway, yes, moving on. Again, guys, this podcast doesn't suit everybody. You don't like what I have to say on the podcast, just don't listen. I've said this a million times before. If you're going to come in with your troll messages, I'm just going to switch you off and ignore you. But anyway, here we go on to the positivity of the podcast today. Yes, before we go any further, we'll talk about Dublin stuff. I want to talk about Lewis, my son, who turned 14 yesterday. 14? Like, what is going on? Like, he's 14 now. I can't believe he's 14. You know, anybody who's followed me for the last 7 years on YouTube, you know yourself, you saw Lewis as a wee boy growing up into this young man that he is now. And I've recorded some videos yesterday because we had mum and dad around because Tony and I get back from Dublin a little bit later than expected. So we had mum and dad around last night for a little bit with Tony after we get back from Dublin. I said to Lewis what he wanted to do for his birthday, and he was kind of like, I just want to get a takeaway and just chill out with the family. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Typical Lewis, of course, like he picked fucking pizza. Of all, no surprise. So we had pizza and stuff last night to celebrate Lewis's birthday, got him a wee cake and stuff. Here's the thing about my kids, guys. They're very, very simple people. They're like me. They don't like all big lavish birthdays and stuff like that. They're just like family time and just having a nice wee bit of time. just to sort of reflect over the last year of getting a year older. The years are getting older for me, but no, he had a good wee time, and then he went upstairs and played his new game on his PS5 with Tony. Tony and him sat upstairs for a little bit. Why, obviously, caught up with a few things when I come back downstairs with Mum and Dad and sat and chilled with them. Dad appeared in the vlog for a little bit as well. It's coming up on the channel, guys. Dad had one of his wee cheat days. The first day he had a wee cheat day since, obviously, his heart attack a few weeks ago. He had a few slices of pizza yesterday, and he chilled out, and he had a great time. He was exhausted though, and him and Mum went home earlier than expected. So, but he's doing good. Dad's doing really, really good, and can't complain. He had a few slices of pizza with us last night, and we're talking away and stuff, and he told us on the vlog, you'll see it yourself when it comes out later on today, that he's lost 6 pounds of weight since he came out of hospital. So the weight's fallen off him. He's doing his daily walks. He started off with 20-minute walks every day, and now he's up to 30-minute walks, and the smoking's stopping, and he's doing well. So everything's all good with Dad. You'll see him briefly appear in the vlog yesterday. It's coming out the channel later on today at some point. With Lewis's birthday yesterday, we didn't do very much. He didn't want to do very much, to be honest. He just wanted to sort of go. We normally go, as you know, guys, if you're a long time follower of the channel, we always go to the Liverpool Legends game every year for his birthday, but this year he didn't want to go. And it was like, okay, you don't want to go. And then obviously the rearranged date for the Snoop Dogg concert we were at in Dublin came out, so it sort of fell into place for us nicely, which was great. But he was happy enough just chilling out yesterday and playing some PS5 with Tony and having a laugh and a joke and playing the new WWE 2K23 game. And then he came down, he had birthday cake with us, and we all chilled out and had a laugh and a joke, and then off he went to bed for school. And he was happy enough. He got his presents and stuff, and he was all good. But yeah, no, I'm actually continuing the vlog on today, because he's wanting to do something this afternoon for his birthday, so he wanted to go and do a football thing as well, but there wasn't enough people to do it, guys, to be honest with you, and I wasn't going to hire a whole big jam place out just for like maybe 4, 5, 6 people. So I said to him, we'll do something else. I was even going to suggest even about going maybe playing some pool tonight or something, or going doing something different and just sort of spend a bit of time with him, obviously when he gets home from school today and stuff. Obviously the weather depending, of course, because the weather's absolutely shit outside. But anyway, yes, he had a good birthday, and I just wanted to take a wee moment here to sort of say happy birthday to him on the podcast, guys. Thanks for all your messages. I'm going to show him to him later on when he gets home from school today. He had a great time. He had a great wee birthday, very quiet birthday. I told him there's a lot of messages from you guys, and he said he's looking forward to reading through them all. But yeah, 14, guys. I can't believe he's 14. Like, there's Brooke. I remember when she turned 14. She's 18 this year, and it scares the fucking Jesus out of me every week I look at them. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And even me and Tony were joking about it. You probably hear it on the vlog if you haven't watched this back. I just put it out this morning. They're actually coming back from Dublin and stuff and spending a wee bit of time in the town itself in the morning time. We were joking about Lewis getting bigger. He says he'd stop growing because he's going to start beating us up for a change. He'll be kicking on our ass soon because he's getting that tall. But no, I just want to put it on record here on the podcast today that, happy birthday for yesterday for Lewis. He's 14 now, and he couldn't ask for any more. He is a good kid, and so is Brooke, and obviously they have their moments because they're teenagers, but I wouldn't change any one of them. They're great kids and thoughtful and kind and loving, and I just couldn't ask for any more of them. And obviously want to put it on record here to say that I love him, and I'm very proud of him, and he's doing very well at the moment with all different things that he's doing with his photography. He's trying to get himself into the football team at school. He's training with the goalkeepers at the Welders every week, and he's just obviously travelling up and down the roads with his football job, getting the name of himself. And he's just a switched on bright kid, and I'm happy to have him as my son because he's just a wee diamond. Pain in the ass sometimes, especially at the moment, because he's getting to that stage where teenage years and hormones and everything out there, but that's just to be expected with teenagers. You get that every time. Nobody's perfect, as the saying goes. Some people out there do think they are fucking perfect, but they're not really perfect. People who think they're perfect just need a good slap up the ear hole and give them a check of reality and told to wind their necks in. Especially like some of the drama queens you see running around now. Dear God Almighty, makes my teeth itch. But anyway, yes, happy birthday, Lewis. I hope you had obviously a great day with the family and stuff, which I know he probably did, because he said he loved it. And 14. Gee Christ, man, I tell you, makes me feel old. Right, let's get on to the topic at hand. Dublin, holy good shit, what a trip. Now we only went overnight, but what a good time. Tony and I set out on Sunday morning. to Dublin. You want to go back and watch all the videos I've put out from Dublin, go ahead and check them out. We're heading to Dublin to watch the Snoop Dogg concert, which was cancelled for 3 years consecutive. But it happened this past Sunday night at the 3 Arena in Dublin. Here's the thing, guys. I don't mind. The 3 Arena is actually quite good for concerts and stuff like that, but certain events, I'm not really sort of a fan of it. It looks more like a theatre compared to the SSE Arena in Belfast. But, you know, it's a great arena. It's a fantastic setup, right? But the concert itself was good. We went there on Sunday night, had a good time, had a few drinks. Tony had a few too many. Well, I don't say a few too many. He didn't overdo it, but he was just merry. Guys, go and check out the vlog I put up when we travelled to Dublin, the first one from Sunday morning. I put 2 out actually before we left to go to the Snoop Dogg concert. Tony, we get into the hotel, and Tony was a wee bit of a buzz on him after, you know, everywhere else on the way down the road. Obviously, I was having a few beers and whatnot, so we're having a good time, whatever. And I did warn him. I says, Tony, you need to sort of like chill a wee bit, because you don't want to overdo it, and then you get to the concert and you can't remember anything. So obviously he goes, right, I'll have a coffee. I'll have a couple of cups of coffee and I'll be sweet. So he gets into the hotel room, and you need to watch this vlog, guys. It's so fucking funny. He's standing there trying to fix the machine, and I'm sitting there before I put the camera on, told him how to work it, because a couple of years back, it was a year or two back, I went to a hotel in Belfast with Sandra at the time, and we had the same type of machine in our hotel room. And I was going to figure it out, but see, trying to talk to Tony, sometimes it's like talking to a tree. He doesn't listen. So off he went, and he was trying to figure it out how to put it on, and it was like watching fucking a 2-year-old try to do it. It was so funny. I was in absolute wrinkles of laughter, and you could see him in the vlog. He's just, but he finally got a couple of cups of coffee in him. He was grand. He had a shower and we went out to the show, but he's a tit. That coffee machine, like. And then yesterday, you'll see it in today's vlog when I put it up later on today. He comes back to my house, obviously for Lewis's birthday and stuff, and I've got this new trendy fucking water dispenser machine thing used for teas and coffees, which Mum got me last year. It's actually really, really cool. Replaced my whole kettle. I don't have a kettle anymore. This thing does everything for you. Plus I have my wee coffee machine too, but he's over trying to do this thing here. Now Tony does have one of these himself in his house, but I was taking the piss out of him, you know, saying to him, oh yeah, here, big lad, make sure you don't break it like you broke the machine down in Dublin. Oh, it was so funny. But overall, it was a good trip. Like, I've had a good bit of fun. Noticed that Dublin's a wee bit more expensive. So it was a wee bit more expensive than normal. I didn't do much sightseeing, to be honest. Now, in the last video I put out this morning, you see me and Tony found this lovely wee area, this wee garden area, not too far from where we were staying. And we went down to Halloween Nose this morning, had a lovely statue and history and stuff like that there. And we were actually trying to figure it out at the time. But once they turned the camera off and got outside, we asked this guy, what's this about? And he was telling us about it and stuff. So, bit of Irish history. So it was nice to see that there. The hotel we stayed in was fucking amazing. Like, damn, I tell you what, I love a good shower in a hotel, but my geez, that shower was good. I love a hotel with a nice good shower. You know what I mean? And the shower in there was incredible, because as I said, when we got to the hotel, we got showered and stuff before we went out to the show, and the showers in that hotel were incredible. So they were absolutely incredible. The staff were lovely. It was a great setup. Honestly, really, really enjoyed it. So I did. So I may even go back there sometime soon with the kids. So it's a really, really nice hotel. But yes, we ended up going to the concert in Dublin on Sunday night. Had a great time. Saw Snoop Dogg for my second time in person. Tony's first time in person. I saw him years ago in Florida at WrestleMania. He was one of the guests on it. I saw him live in person there, and I always said he was a big dude. Like, but when he came out on stage, Tony looked at me and went, "Holy shit, he's tall." And I was like, "Yeah." He was on stage for quite a long time, actually. There's a local guys from Ireland, rappers, Versatile they're called. They were performing too. They were actually quite good. A lot of hometowners, Southerners down south, people from Ireland down south, and all knew who they were more than we did. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of rap music like Tony is. Tony loves his rap music, like a Snoop Dogg and Tupac and Biggie Smalls and D12 and all that, or he's into all that. I do like a lot of their songs, like a lot of people do. You know, Snoop Dogg is a popular artist. You know, he's known worldwide, but I had a couple of boys from D12 there too as well. But those boys from Ireland, Versatile they're called, they're actually quite good. Some of their songs was kind of like, no, it's crap. And then our songs were like, actually, that's quite a catchy wee song. and they had the crowd eating out of the palm of their hands, and they were really into it, and the fans loved them. So, but overall, it was a good night out. Three Arena was a good. I haven't been to Three Arena in a long time. I think it was called the Point at the time. It's a great spot for concerts and stuff, but no, it was a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you want to go and check out the vlog, guys, from it. It's funny. You see boys like wee clips jumping in and out of the actual concert, and show wee things that they do. They play around with the crowd and stuff too as well. The boys from D12 and stuff like that there, they play around with the crowd and whatnot. So I want to go and check it out. You see some of the footage there, and then you see us the next morning looking like two people been dragged out of a fucking heads backwards, like. But anyway, yeah, it was a good trip. Coming home was obviously quite good as well. Going down, the travelling to the Dublin was quite interesting, because on the way down we were like, right, okay, we'll get on the bus. We bought some food in the bus station where you got on the coach. I got a sandwich and a bottle of orange juice. Tony got himself something too, and we're just sitting there, and we were at the back seats of the bus, but these two girls come up, younger girls, probably around about mid-30s, come in and sat in between the two of us, with the back seats along the back of the bus itself. And we got talking to them, and they were really nice girls. They were from Ballyclare, originally from Belfast, and unfortunately they were on their way to Thailand to see their father, who unfortunately had a stroke, which is kind of shit. I remember one of their names. One of their names was Rebecca, and she was a school teacher, and they were lovely girls. It actually made the trip go a lot quicker. We're just chit-chatting about, kids, and, obviously we all had kids, and we're all chit-chatting about the wee funny moments, and just chit-chatting about kids and whatnot and everything else. So, and then they get dropped off at Dublin Airport, so it made the trip go a lot quicker. So they were nice girls, and they were like, oh yeah, sure, might see you down the road, whatever, and we'll send you, we'll find, one of them said they were going to find me on Facebook and send me a message and let me know how their dad and stuff is. So I look forward to hopefully hearing from them again. But they were nice people, and we're just chatting away and stuff. And then on the way back, we met these boys from Belfast, and they were just back from Prague. So that made the bus journey back home even better. So we had a chat with them, and we had a laugh with them on the way back, telling stories about where they were, and we were telling stories about our trips in Dublin and stuff, whatever else, and we're just chit-chatting away and whatever else. Good lads. Really, 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 really good lads. So both journeys, it was great because we had people to talk to. So overall, it was a good trip. And I came home alive, and Tony came home actually pretty good. If you haven't saw the vlogs from a couple of years ago when Tony turned 30, he was still half drunk coming home from his 30th birthday, and his antics on the bus was hilarious. You have to watch it. It's so funny. Especially Robert and all, our cousin Robert as well, when he was drunk singing with the statues and all in Dublin. Oh, hilarious vlogs. You need to go watch them, back and watch them, guys, if you haven't watched them yet. They're fucking hilarious, like so funny. But we were well behaved this time. We came home, great, no hangovers, felt great. So overall, it was a good trip. So yeah, I encourage you to go and watch the vlogs from it. It is funny, really, 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 really funny. So it is. But yeah, it was good. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and we will be back in Dublin sometime soon. Right, let's get on to some of the stuff that's going on in the world at the minute. What is going on with this world? I mean, I woke up this morning to see what's going on. Guys, this is a sad bit of sad news today here on the podcast, and I'm shocked. Again, guys, another school shooting. This time in America, Nashville. Woke up this morning to hear that 3 kids and adults have been shot dead inside a school, and gone through the story briefly. I mean, I've just opened up a story here again. There are 3 children and 3 adults have been killed in a shooting by an ex-student at the school in the U.S. city of Nashville, Tennessee. The attack took place at a private Christian school where the students are up to the age from 3 to 11. The 3 pupils who were killed were all 9 years of age. The police said this is what it says here from the main article this morning, guys. I'm just going to sort of give you a fill in case you haven't heard anything about this. Police said that suspect gained entry by shooting through a door at the school. The child's victims have been named, and obviously I don't want to read their names out. Obviously, there was also adult victims were aged 61, 60, and also 61. The person who has been identified, the killer, was a 28-year-old Audrey Hale. There was some confusion about Hale's gender identity, with police initially describing the attacker as a woman, but then later said that the person was identifying himself as a transgender. Fuck me. So I know this just going on to this story is absolutely sickening. Another school shooting, innocent children and innocent people killed again by these. I don't care what people say. Like these are fucking Looney Tunes. These people are sick, twisted individuals who are going into. Was it just before the end of last year? There was a shooting as well. Innocent children shot again because these loopy tunes are getting their hands on weapons. And I mean, this one here doesn't even know what fucking gender they are, and they're going into a school and killing innocent children at age 9 years of age. What type of, and I don't care about anybody, listen, if people want to try and cancel for me what I have to say here, go ahead and fucking try, because I don't care. What type of sick, twisted person has the right mind to walk into a school of innocent children and open up fire and kill kids? Now this makes me angry as a father, looking at this, and also innocent adults being killed by someone who, number one, doesn't even know whether they're a man or a fucking woman. Goes into a school and opens up fire, and an ex-pupil. Now, I don't know what their motivation was. This person was killed, was 28 years of age, by the way. Not that really makes a fucking difference. But the fact that they're going into this school and killing innocent people, what is their motivation? But then a lot of people will come out, and all the fucking snowflakes will say, oh, but they maybe suffered with mental health problems, and they might have suffered with this and done this, and they might have been an ex-pupil who was bullied, or it might be a pure person who was treated bad at the school. Regardless, that fucking person walked into a school with a gun and killed. What did those 3 innocent 9-year-old children do to be taken so soon in their life over this fucking Looney Tune? This nut job who just walks in with a gun and starts opening up fire. Look at that school there a few months ago. We talked about it on the podcast. Was it before I launched the podcast? Or maybe before? Like, just walked into a school and just opened up fire and killed kids. What do they gain from it? Obviously, within minutes, they're going to be dead themselves, because they either turn the gun on themselves or the police just literally take them out where they stand. Now, obviously, you look at it the other side of the fence. Maybe the person was probably struggling with a few issues and whatnot there. But again, to take an innocent child's life, in my book, is fucked up. And people like that should be either locked in a fucking padded cell, or this is where the death penalty should be brought back. See, people who kill innocent children for a lot of different reasons, whether it be murder or abuse. Well, obviously it is murder, but I mean, they kill them a certain way, like with a gun, or they abuse them sexually or physically, whatever, or they just kill them in general, or strangle them, or all these different stories you hear in the news all the time. Like, what is going through a person's mind to kill an innocent child? You know what I mean? It's fucked up. It's messed up. It really legitimately is messed up. And I read through this story this morning, and the BBC of all people, no fucking surprise, put a thing up, a CCTV video of the time when they came through. They shot the glass of the front door to get through the security door at the front, and you see the person walking in. Not that I'm going to fucking watch it, because I'm not. Because seeing people were sharing the stories on social media and stuff this morning. It's just absolutely insane how anybody can do that. This goes on here to say about, obviously, the different other pupils have been traumatized, and also, before the person was obviously killed, it was saying here as well, the shooter actually then fired out the window of the fucking school at the police before they were killed themselves. So there you go. It's disgusting, guys. An innocent, it just, I could talk about it all day, but I'm not going to, because, again, no matter what I say or do, I'm going to get criticised for it too as well. Not that I give a fuck, to be honest, but these people are coming in now This, and again, this is just sickening how anybody can do that to innocent children. And it's heartbreaking, and I do send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims, because it is just absolutely heartbreaking to see that. Heartbreaking. Breaks my heart looking at that. Oh, I don't know. Some people in this world are just completely wired to the moon, and they need to be sort of like, I don't know. People like that just don't even deserve to be on this planet. They're just sick individuals. But again, no doubt I want to get people who are going to come in and criticise me for what I have to say and say, you have to think about the victim and blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck about the victim. At the end of the day, he killed 3 innocent children. He or she, whatever the fuck they want to be called. They killed 3 innocent children and 3 innocent adults as well for no reason. Well, I don't know why there's a reason behind it, like, but as far as what I've been reading so far and what I've been seeing, it's just, it's mental. It's mad, guys, and I don't know what to do anymore. This world is going absolutely bonkers. Right, let's move on, guys. Some happy news for the people of Scotland today. Ding dong, the old bitch, Nicola Sturgeon, as we all talked about, is now resigned as Scotland's first Prime Minister. She's officially tendered her resignation as Scotland's First Minister in a letter to the King. And they did announce someone to be, I saw it on the news yesterday. Yes, is it Humaza Yousaf is set to be Nicola Sturgeon's replacement. So all you people in Scotland can be partying today, because the wee woman who you don't like very often, because I get a lot of Scottish people who email me all the time telling me they don't like her, has now officially resigned as the First Minister of Scotland. So I'm sure you're all chuffed to bits knowing the fact that she's gone. Because I know a lot of Scottish people who live over here don't like her as well. Mr. Musk is back in the news. Twitter boss announces the blue tick shake-up. Twitter boss Elon Musk has announced the shake-up of social media platform paid blue feature. All these, if you're on Twitter, which I'm not on fucking Twitter because I wouldn't go on that, a platform's full of mentals and nutcases. It's all these new things that are happening with Twitter at the minute, and all these new paid things and stuff like that. There's a whole big debate going around at the minute about the whole verification blue tick nonsense. Listen, let me tell you something. Twitter's nothing to do with me anymore. I do run Twitter accounts for people I work for my work and stuff like that, and obviously like the welders, social media and stuff like that. But see, personally, I wouldn't go on social media. Like, Twitter is just full of absolute sick, twisted nutcases. That's half the reason why I come off Twitter. And people still this day ask me, why did I come off it? Because I couldn't hack the grief? No, it's not, because some of the people who sit behind fake profiles on Twitter are completely they're just lunatics. And some of the stuff that they post, and the accusations they make of people, and the way they ruin people's lives and target people. I mean, you get it on all social media platforms, but again, Twitter is the worst platform in the world to be on, and I don't recommend it for anybody. That and TikTok at the minute too as well, which is just even getting more headlines lately. I talked about that there, it was 2 weeks ago on the podcast. TikTok's just getting even more bad criticism, where they are trying to completely ban it altogether. In certain countries, because of obviously information being fed to, they were all saying that this whole political crap about the Chinese government getting all the information. Not that I really pay much attention to it, because at the end of the day, TikTok is another one which I'm a little bit skeptical about. So, but there you go. It's just, it's madness. Right, back to the old homegrown here in Northern Ireland. Big story. It was released there today. It was actually released there within the last hour or so, or this morning, sorry, and it's going to be made more public over the next couple of hours, no doubt. Here, obviously, everybody doesn't know I'm from Northern Ireland originally. People who listen from far away, because we have got a lot more listeners now that we are on TuneIn Radio and stuff like that, by the way. So hello, everybody on TuneIn Radio. People know that Northern Ireland have now put their threat level of terrorism up. Which, because of all the recent incidents that have been happening here in Northern Ireland. I was reading the article there this morning saying that I just made a few notes of it here on me on my wee pad here, because I like to make notes before I go on the podcast here. Just says the terrorism threat level in Northern Ireland has been raised from substantial to severe, meaning that an attack is likely. Now, I don't know whether they're saying this here to try and scare people, or whether there's something they're thinking something's going to happen. The move based on the MI5 intelligence, following the rise of Republican activity, including a recent gun attack on a top police officer. Now, I don't know why you know that story. There was a police officer that was shot in front of his son He was also a football coach in Oma, and people don't know where they were from or who they were representing or whatever. People just pulled up in a car and opened up fire on this innocent police officer and shot him in front of his son. And other things have been going on as well. But it just says in the article here as well, this is recent Republic activity and also activities from the other side, but we're now concerned of something, an attack is imminent. This is coming from MI5. Which is a bit strange, guys, because you all know the history of Northern Ireland, the Troubles and the Good Friday Agreement and all this stuff here that people like to talk about. You know, I get messages all the time from people. I told a few stories from me growing up in Belfast and whatnot during the 80s, right up to the early 90s, excuse me. You know, I saw my bits and bobs during the Troubles and whatnot because of where I lived in Belfast at the time as a kid. Funny enough, actually, we were on the bus yesterday. Those lads we were talking to, coming back from Dublin, we were talking about the Troubles and stuff, and you know, the actual one of them cracked the joke and says, "What side of the fence are you from?" And I says, "Well, I'm from the Protestant side." And he went, "Oh, pure, who gives a shit? How you doing?" And he shook my hand and all, we were talking away and stuff, and they were telling me where they were from, and from the Catholic community, and we were just joking about back and forward. I mean, 30 years ago you couldn't have done that, but now it's like, not that it ever bothered me anyway, because I don't give a shit what religion you are. You know, I've got friends who are Catholic. I'm obviously from a Protestant community, from a Protestant background, but that doesn't bother me. I don't care where you come from. At the end of the day, you know, a person's a person to me, and if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. If you're a good person to me, I'm a good person to you. Simple as. Treat people how you expect to be treated yourself, as I always say. But no, them boys were brilliant. We're actually sitting talking about the Troubles and stuff like that there, because they were a wee bit younger than what I was, and they were saying, you know, what was it like in this time and all. And then we just completely changed it because we started talking about football, because I told them I worked for the Welders, and some of them boys said they used to go to Donegal Celtic games, and I was telling them I've been up at their ground loads of times over the years and stuff, and we were talking about football in general out there in Northern Ireland, whatever else. And they were talking about, funny enough, they were setting up the shootings and stuff like that there, but the fellow who was killed at the Donegal Celtic football ground last year, it was towards the end of last year. We were just talking about all that different things, and then this morning, when I go on to try and maybe see some news stories for the podcast to talk about today, I see, obviously, they put the terrorism threat level up. Now, guys, it says here as well, you know, it's been reversed as a downgrade, or not, this has been reversed as a downgrade, sorry. It's reversed a downgrade at Northern Ireland's terrorism threat last March, which was last year. It's for the first time in 12 years. So, and then it goes on here to say about vigilant is urged. So obviously be on alert and stuff like that there. Again, this could just be the press and the media fucking ramming it up and making people scared and all this nonsense. I'm going to cough again. I'm not sick, by the way. I just got a wee tickle in the back of my cough. Should have drunk a bottle of water before I switched the podcast on. But again, it goes on to say about, you know, all the different things that are happening. Again, is it the press trying to ramp it up again to try and get a story? Is it really? I don't think it's as bad as what they say they are, but again, you just never know. It's not even just here in Northern Ireland, it could be anywhere in the world. Anything can happen at any time. But again, I live my life, you know, I don't care where you come from, what background you're from, I don't care. At the end of the day, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. Simple as. And again, we say, old saying goes as well, live and let live. You know what I mean? And I've said this before on the podcast. You get rid of that tickle in my throat. You know, I grew up in a generation where it was like people were telling me, or not telling me, sorry, people were telling, like I've seen my friends of mine all at school that were being brought up by their parents to hate the other side, should we say, you know, don't speak to the other side, they're not nice people, stay away from them, blah, blah, blah. And then they grew up to have kids, and then they went and told their kids to do the same thing, and now they're having kids and they're telling their kids. It's like a generational thing. And that should be not happening anymore. It happens on both sides of the community, where it should be like, you know, live and let live. Don't matter what religion you come from. If they're nice people, be nice back. Treat them as you expect to be treated as well. Do not mistreat people the way it is. I mean, I even say to my kids all the time, listen, if someone comes up to you and they're from a different country or whatever, that's fine. Talk to them, be nice to them, pass yourself with them, be a nice person, be respectful. But if they're coming up to you and being nasty, whatever else, don't be nasty to them. Just sort of go, right, I want nothing to do with you, bye-bye, walk on. It doesn't matter where you come from, guys, at the end of the day. And the world's a different place now where people are encouraged to live together. Okay, there's a lot of hate out there, and people still don't want to let go of the past, especially in this country, and I'll be the first to admit that. People in this country do not want to let go of the past, and that really, really pisses me off sometimes. But again, that's just the way they're brought up, and that's the way they are, and it's sad, really, but the world's completely different now compared to what it was. And again, I could sit here all night and talk about the troubles and talk about different things that have happened here in Northern Ireland and whatnot, and talk about, my experiences growing up as a kid in Northern Ireland and stuff. But again, I wouldn't want to waste fucking hours and hours of podcasting time, because at the end of the day, it would take literally days to fucking tell you everything, and I don't want to get stuck into that, because clearly someone out there will listen to this podcast and they'll not like it, and they'll find offence to it, and they'll go fucking nuts and whatever else, and I can't be arsed listening to it. Because that's why I just sort of sit back now and just sort of go, right, this is your opinion, that's your opinion, that's fine. But again, I'm hoping for Northern Ireland's sake that this is obviously just another story being ramped up by the press. So I do. And again, it's just the news. Every time you turn it on, it's always negative at the moment, and that's why I don't really watch the news anymore, to be quite honest with you, because I have literally, when I watch some of that news now, I just sort of look at it and go, is there any positives coming out of anywhere? Seriously, is there any positives at all? Oh, I don't flipping know. I really don't. Right, I'm going to pause the podcast for a second, so I need to get a glass of water, because this tickle in my throat is doing my head in. That's better. Just got myself a nice big glass of water. I must be tickling my throat this morning. I'm not sick or nothing like that, but hey ho. Guys, let's move away from that there, and let's talk about something now here in the UK as well. Royal Mail. Now, you all know there's a lot of things that have been happening recently about, like the NHS and the trains and the buses and Royal Mail and all these people going on strike and stuff about pay, and a lot of it I agree with, because of, there should be staff out there who are getting paid a lot more than what they're getting, especially in hospitals and whatnot. But yeah, just Royal Mail stories come up today. Royal Mail talks over pay brink of collapse. They're talking about here the next 24 to 48 hours are key to try and get this pay dispute sorted with Royal Mail. And they were saying here, apparently, if it's not agreed, if it's not moved with the current pay offer, the unions are trying to resolve the issue at the moment, but it's also saying administration is actually a real possibility for Royal Mail if the industrial action continues. So if it's not resolved, and this is not a negotiable. I'm speaking today. This problem apparently is not being negotiable. Can't even speak. Negotiating properly. What is wrong with me today? It's a bit worrying for Royal Mail. There could be more strikes on the way too as well for the post. Now, was it last Christmas they were doing all the bits and bobs and strikes, and there was people worrying, and parcels weren't getting delivered in time over Christmas and whatnot. But apparently there's a whole big speed here going on at the minute, and they're all sort of arguing with each other and stuff about what the hell's going to happen with pay and stuff. But I hope they get sorted, because guys, I've said this before, NHS workers especially are getting paid very, very little. They should be getting people, and this is what I read, and I don't know if this is true or not. But if I'm wrong, please correct me here. But I've heard there's certain parts in hospital work you can actually get paid more money working at fucking McDonald's than what you can in hospitals as a manager in McDonald's than actually working in a hospital. What is going on with this world? But NHS workers should be getting paid more money, especially for how they work. They work round the clock. Public transport, again, yes and no. Obviously, you can argue about that, about their pay structure and stuff. And now Royal Mail, because at the end of the day, guys, if it wasn't for Royal Mail and the public transport and the NHS, there are main things that we need in our life all the time. Like Royal Mail for post, public transport for buses and trains to get people to work, etc., etc. And also the NHS, which is obviously your healthcare and your doctors, your nurses, and your health centres and things like that. If we didn't have all them, we'd be screwed. So again, there's a whole big argument going on here about Royal Mail, and I'm hoping they get the matter resolved, because at the end of the day, you'd hit an hour strike. So you would. Which is an absolute nightmare. But here, I see Harry was at court yesterday. I was just writing down a few notes here this morning on my notepad. He was in court for the newspaper phone tapping thing. He arrived at the High Court as legal proceedings to begin in a phone tapping and privacy case. Prince Harry briefly, he also run into, and you're not actually the guy, I saw a quick clip of it this morning on GB News this morning. He almost knocked the photographer over. So old Harry's in court today. Now Meghan's let the ball and chain off him. Let him out for the day. But yeah, in the news again. Harry's in the news again, so there you go. But it's, what is going on? Like, seriously, it's just the world. I sit here some mornings, guys, writing out notes and stuff like that for the podcast. I'm going to tell you a true story here. Like, I mean, I sit here at mornings and get up on the Tuesday morning to record the podcast and stuff before I go off and do my working day and whatever else. And I sit here and I make the notes of what's going on in the world and what to talk about and what not to talk about. And I just sort of sit here sometimes and I go, what is going on with this friggin' world? And there's obviously some stuff that I don't want to talk about on the podcast because some of it's a wee bit too extreme or whatever else. But I mean, I just look at some of the stories of what people are doing to each other and the way people are being bullied now and the way people are being treated now and all these different things like that, shooting with them kids and all too as well. And I'm just looking at that and I'm going to myself, like, what type of absolute nutcase world do we live in that people are actually getting on like this? You know? And I look back at it and go, gee whiz, I'll take another swig of water here. What type of world are we living in now where it's just, some of it's actually shocking, you know? But obviously the main things at the minute in this world is there's a lot of hate in this world right now and a lot of bullying in this world right now. There's a lot of things that, you know, could be better, but then there's other things I look at and I sort of go, what the hell is going on with this world? Seriously, it is absolutely insane. But again, you just sort of say to yourself, keep yourself to yourself, keep yourself in your own wee bubble. You know, just sort of stay away from all the drama as much as you can. Obviously, I do get a lot of people who contact me because I'm obviously on social media and whatever else, and I always get someone do send me a lot of drama, but I just tend to ignore most of the drama, to be quite honest with you guys. But again, I just look at this world we live in right now sometimes, and I scratch my head, and I even talk about it. Me and Tony were having a chat about it actually on the bus the other day. And again in the hotel, it was like, Tony, like, look at this world. It's absolutely mad. The amount of people out there who are just determined to hate people or discriminate people or just be completely nasty to the other humans. You know what I mean? And I don't see the reason why they want to do it. But again, and then on the other side of the coin, you're looking at it like, you can't say anything to offend people. You can't do anything now. You're offended, and it's just it's baffling. I sit here, guys, as I said to you, every Tuesday and Thursday making notes for the podcast, and I look at it and go, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Right, I'm gonna go because I'm making this a shorter episode today, guys, because at the end of the day I've got lots on today. One more swig of water before I go. I've got quite a lot on today, so I'm also going to go and sort out stuff for Lewis's after dinner we're going to have together. So stay tuned for the vlogs, guys, coming up. Lewis's birthday video, and also a couple more vlogs coming up in the next few days as well. The kiddies finish, I think it's this week they finish for Easter. And it's a big week this week for Lewis now because no football this weekend, but we're off to the Belfast Giants on Saturday night. The Giants can lift the league title this Saturday night, so we're looking forward to that. We'll be doing vlogs of that there as well. What else we got on this week? We've got quite a lot on actually this week, and just looking forward to the weekend in general. WrestleMania is this weekend for WWE fans out there, the biggest show of the year. WrestleMania weekend. Lewis and I will be in Philadelphia next year for WrestleMania. We're definitely going next year 100%. So yeah, it's going to be a big weekend as well. So Lewis and I will be having a couple of late nights this weekend with the ice hockey and WrestleMania and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be, and I'm going to be doing as many vlogs as I can this week, guys, because I have got a wee bit more time this week, so I'm going to do more vlogs. There's a couple of you have been texting me over the last couple of days on Instagram and stuff and saying to me, oh, it's great to see you're putting out all this content again. No, it's great to see. I did say to you I was going to try and make more time, and I am trying to make more time to try and do more content for the channel again, so stay tuned for the vlogs coming up. And on this Thursday's podcast, we are having more news, more stuff to talk about, and also we're doing the Jackass of the Week. So if you have a suggestion for, I've got a couple wrote down here at the minute for Jackass of the Week for this week. So if you have any suggestions at all, who you think that should be the Mirror Army podcast, remember his name now is Boris. His name, the donkey's called Boris. Yeah, that's right. Because I got a really lovely email the other day about that saying I was a sexist pig for naming the donkey Boris. Because I wasn't, I should have had no name for it. And it should have been just a donkey. No male, no female. Listen, I didn't pick the name. The listeners did. So, there you go. So, Boris the Donkeys, it will be back this Thursday. The Mirror Army podcast, Jackass of the Week. So, if you have any suggestions for Jackass of the Week, drop me an email, mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, the old social media feeds, Mirror Army YouTube on Facebook. And also, official Matthew Mirror on Instagram. If you want to send me a suggestion for Jackass of the Week, we take them all into consideration because there is quite a lot of you do every week. But if you have any suggestions for Jackass of the Week for this week, please let me know. I have no football training to go to this week as well, which is kind of weird because there's no match on Saturday. Disappointing weekend, actually. I forgot to mention at the start of this podcast about a disappointing weekend in football. Drew nil each with the league leaders, but was failed to qualify for the top 6 in the league. So, disappointing weekend for the Welders. Robbed of a goal in the last minute too by a weird premature decision made by a linesman. But we'll say no more about that. Weird weekend. Anyway, guys, got loads on this week, so stay tuned for loads of content coming up on the Mirror Army YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that. I'll be back on Thursday with another podcast to bring up all the latest news and stuff and more. If you've any thoughts and you want to talk about the issues that we talked about on the podcast today, I would love to hear from you. mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Please contact me. I'd love to hear what your views are on it. Because again, there's been some sensitive ones today, especially about that school shooting in America, which I still can't wrap my fucking head around. The fact that there's some sick individual doing that. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, if you're listening to us here on YouTube as well, don't forget to hit a like button on this video or this podcast, and also hit subscribe below. I would appreciate it if you're watching it here. And also, if you're on Spotify, don't forget to add us to your favourites. Also, Apple Music, and also if you're on TuneIn Radio, save us to your favourites as well. The numbers recently have been absolutely fantastic on the podcast since we jumped to TuneIn Radio. So, a big thank you to TuneIn Radio for letting us be on the platform. It's awful nice of you. Still trying to get on SoundCloud. I keep forgetting to get it all done, guys, but I will get there in the end because a lot of these want it on SoundCloud. So you do. Because Brooke even said to me, Daddy, a lot more younger ones use SoundCloud and they like to listen more podcasts and stuff on SoundCloud. So I'll get there eventually. Always do. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. So hope you enjoyed the podcast today. And yes, if you want to go back and check out all the videos from Dublin, they're available now on the YouTube channel. 29 Antics in Dublin. Good times. Anyway, until Thursday, guys, hope you all enjoy your Tuesday, your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here on Thursday for another episode of the Mirror Army podcast. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me babble on as usual here on the program. And until Thursday, I will see you back here for another episode, guys. Thanks for listening.